Oh. Yes, Hickok 45, your internet shooting companion, coming to you from the hills of Tennessee, the fall hills, the October hills of Tennessee. Yes, the home of some very unfortunate folks over in the eastern part of the state. Yeah, not as bad as North Carolina, but some folks had some bad times over in East Tennessee. Thinking about them too. So glad you're here. And it is a nice fall day. We're into October now, so I guess it's officially fall, autumn, something like that, even though it still looks pretty green, right? So yeah, here we are. You saw me react there. I was popping that plate, and on the last shot I noticed as it fell, my grabber over there. Let me run and get it. Okay, see if I damaged it. Hopefully not. Yeah. Oh no, that's my grandson's too. Got his name written on it, baby. Okay, that's the one I engraved his name on it though several years back. This is the one he plays with. It's the one I used to keep in the, I guess it is the one I keep in the four-wheeler. Yeah, it's just not in there right. Okay, I don't see any damage. It was leaning up against there, but the splatter, yeah, knocked it down. Okay, y'all ever seen one of these? I'm sure you have. I ordered a case of those, years ago. I'd seen them around, and I would look for them in stores, and I'd never see these nice ones with the rubber, whatever, grabbers. I always call these grabbers. And I'd used one somewhere, and I finally found some online. I ordered about 8 of them, or however many were in that box. So, glad I didn't damage that. They're really nice, handy picking up stuff. Yeah, it's almost as if they're designed for that. Yep, glad you're here, and sure sorry about all the folks going through what they're going through. As I said, in North Carolina and around Florida, it's a really, really bad time. That's last week's Sunday video. I think I told you it was going to be raining. Rain was coming from the hurricane Helene, and so I did it last week's, the day before that got to the Tennessee area and everything, and so I wasn't aware that the damage and the death toll and any of that, last week. So they still don't know what the death toll is. But anyway, you folks over that way and down that way, it's tough. Such a mess. You've seen the video footage. It's just nothing like the mess that nature can make of an area. You spend all decades, centuries, building up a town or a village or whatever, and then it just can be wiped away, right? And that's the thing I've said for decades, whatever. The hurricanes or the tornadoes continue to get worse. No, I'm not going there. They continue to have a bigger effect, right? Why is that? Everybody reach up and turn your ear. If your common sense is not turned on today, flip your switch, the common sense switch, and it'll come to you why, when there is a tornado or a hurricane, why is it, let's say 2024 versus 1984, or year 2000, or year 1960, why do more people get hurt and lose property? Okay, that got about 90% of you. There's about 10% that still are thinking something weird. Well, population growth, right? I think of that in the Midwest. You know, tornadoes have been coming through all the flatlands, Oklahoma, and all through there for, well, I don't know how long. I started to say decades, centuries, since time started around here. And just think of it. There's probably some horrific tornadoes in Kansas back in, well, I don't know what, 1710. I mean, more than maybe called Kansas. It wasn't Kansas at the time, but I mean that same field, that same strip, let's say, of whatever, 5 miles, in the year 1700. Pick a year, 1200, whatever, 1840. I don't know. A certain specific strip of land might have had the most horrific tornado touch down there, and just uproot large trees, and anything in its path was killed, with a deer or whatever. Horrific. But no humans died in Area 1. I wonder why. That same tornado in 2024 might wipe out, might kill 500 people or 40 people, whatever the number would be, you know, depending on where it is. So same thing, right, for Florida or North Carolina or Tennessee or anything. We had a tornado, when a big one come through here several years back, took out some trees and everything. It could have come right through my house. Took a barn out, just, I mean, literally I could almost throw a rock and hit that barn. I could sling a 44 special slug and hit that barn. I ain't trouble, it's that close. And I mean, the path it was on to take that barn out, I mean, it was literally, if it had just been over like 15 yards to the south, east, west, whatever, it would have gotten my house and everything. Okay. Well, that tornado, for example, which was whatever that was, 8 years ago or something, I don't know. If that were, I can be more precise on that. If that were a little bit south, you know, like I said, and been on the path of my house, which it almost was, it took a tree out right by the house. In 1982 or 3, it wouldn't have mattered. My house wasn't there. I wasn't there. The house was there a year or two before I moved in 85, but I mean, it wasn't there in 82, 83 at all. It was just taking out some trees. You know, and that barn, I don't know. It may not have been there either. I don't know. So, man, you just never know what kind of lesson you're going to get from me, do you? But anyway, we have, of course, built so many places, nice places, you know, on the beaches and everywhere on the shores, that a hurricane or anything just takes out more people. Now, some of those folks like in Tennessee and North Carolina, some of those areas were not exactly heavily populated, but every area is growing, right? So there's more people at risk when something comes through. I'm tired of giving you geography lessons, you know, unless you start paying for them. What am I shooting? I don't know. Let me thank the people that help us. I've got something here because of that. I got a good friend. His name's Bud, and I get to, he'll lend me guns. He's just a heck of a nice guy. We appreciate everybody that helps us. So Silencer Central, great company. You've met Brandon Maddox here. They do things really, really well. Focus on one thing, and they do it well. Appreciate Bud's Gun Shop. Great outfit. Wonderful people. Wonderful people. The reason we get to bring you so many wonderful things. And then the Sonoran Desert Institute. Lots of things you can learn there about drone technology. You can learn more about firearms. And you can get on the road to, you know, being a gunsmith. Yeah, they'll put you right on the road. Let you know whether that's something you want to do or not, right? So, this is something that's not on loan. This is the JP-5. JP-5, I think I mentioned it to you a Sunday or two ago, maybe. Yeah, again, I have to confess, I bought this. I made the mistake of doing some research. You know, there are things about firearms that it's like going to look at puppies, right? You start thinking about a dog or a cat, any kind of pet. And you get to the point where you're researching a little more and more, and you actually end up in a pet store or somewhere where people are raising pets. You know, I made that mistake years ago with golden retrievers many times. And for those who don't know, maybe you're still pretty young, there's virtually no such thing as going to look at pets, to look at puppies, put it that way. Or kitties if you like cats. There's no such thing as going to look at puppies. Oh, we found somebody that has puppies. I've been thinking about a golden retriever or a German shepherd, whatever it is. I found a place, there's someone not too far from us that raises them. They breed them, you know, and let's just go look at them. That is the biggest joke that ever came along. Nobody ever goes just to look at them, right? If I were raising puppies, especially I don't know, golden retrievers or something like that, highly desirable pet. Everybody loves them, right? And they're so lovable. If I were raising golden retrievers and I don't know, I knew a potential customer was coming. Well, when they turned in the driveway, there's no doubt they're going to leave with one, right? Like 1 out of 100 might go away without one, but you know, unless you're down to your last 1 or 2 and there's something up with them, they don't seem right? So anyway, you don't go to look at puppies, you go to get one. You just don't know that till you get there, right? Well, same way with firearms. If you get into researching one, learning more about it, and kind of decide, yeah, I think that's what I want, you know, and then you go look at them or whatever, the deeper you go, the more likely you are to go home with one. That's what I did with the JP-5, because, you know, I'm a bit of a nut. I'm a nut, but I'm a fan of pistol caliber carbines. Do I need to tell you that? And that be what this is. And I'm going to shoot it again. Can I do that? 9mm. Got my 25 round mag in it. All right, 9mm JP-5. Did I shoot that yet? Yeah, I did once, didn't I? Yeah, got to hold up a little bit before I can get it in the red. And, oh, did I hit Clyde? Pretty easy to hit with, to say the least. To say the least. Yeah, what did I tell you? Yeah, man. I don't know if anybody knows this, but you know, this would be good for competition. Yeah, it really would, I think. And probably nobody knows that. JP-5, JP Enterprises, 9mm. It is pretty neat. It is pretty neat. Nice trigger. It has a roller block, delayed roller bolt on it, like an HK MP5, and so you don't get that heavy bolt like you do on almost all pistol caliber carbines, because at least in, well, about any chambering, I guess, but you have a blowback bolt, and with them, and it's often a heavy, just about has to be a heavy bolt. And so you're thinking, there's nothing wrong with it. 9mm doesn't exactly kick hard, right? But you think about your pistols that fire 9mm, and if you got one a full duty size, it doesn't kick much, does it at all? And you think, well, if I had a gun this big, or a carbine that you can shoulder that fires 9mm, well, that ought to shoot like about a 22 short, right? But it doesn't kick really hard, but it has some recoil a little bit because of the big bolt, because it's most of them are not a gas system. The MPX is, but the ones that are and most of them are not. And so you got that big bolt that comes flying back, and so because it is kind of a ka-chunk, a little bit. And what they were able to do with this, as I understand, with that roller delayed blowback thing, it's a lighter bolt, and it's unlocks kind of a delayed fashion and everything. Just more pleasant to shoot. And for competition, I was joking about competition, you get hold right on target more easily and all that kind of thing. And So yeah, just a really nice carbine. I like it. I haven't shot a great deal, but I have shot enough to know I really like it, and I'm pleased with the fact that I don't regret spending what I spent on it. Not cheap. So there you go, JP-5. JP-5. Been shooting a lot of pistol caliber carbines lately. You know, the Ruger LC carbine. Had the 10 millimeter out last week, didn't I? Yep. Gonna be doing a video with that, and got the 45 ACP pistol caliber carbine. So that one's pretty cool. I want to also thank Alabama Holster, great supporter of the channel. Little Kydex holsters, hard to beat, whether it's a inside the waistband, outside the waistband, purse holster, phone holster, whatever. So appreciate them. And of course this thing uses Glock magazines. So the old joke. Also got to pick this gun up yesterday. Okay, it uses Glock magazines as well. I promise it does. Well, I think it does. I haven't fired it yet. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it uses Beretta magazines. But it says Glock 21 Gen 5 on the side. So I'll assume it uses the mags that came with it. The Glock mags. Although it came with, I didn't know that. I just requested it from my friend, my buddy, Bud, and it has 10 round mags in it. I didn't realize that. That's okay. Usually I'll notice on websites, if you go online, y'all know this, and you see, or just, I don't know, wherever, magazine or wherever you see the information, people, surely everybody knows by now. I think that's one reason. Well, let me get off target here now, about to go down a side trail. Surely even the crazy, loony folks that run social media know by now that nobody can just call up some online company and have a firearm shipped to your door or something. You know, I mean, I think back 20 years ago, maybe, or maybe 10, there's people, especially the gun haters, or people just don't get out much. They thought, wow, whenever you talk about an online gun, oh yeah, I bought that online. Really, like you buy something on eBay or whatever, gun broker, you know, that's online, right? Well, if there's someone watching who doesn't know the difference, you can only buy a gun legally, a new gun from a dealer or online dealer or whatever. It actually has to come to an FFL, right? An FFL dealer, just like me. Even me, I don't even buy a lot of these guns. I borrow them. I still have to go through my local gun shop in Clarksville and fill out the Form 4473 just like I'm buying it, right? And you definitely have to do the same when you buy one. You know, it's like when I bought this rifle, carbine. Okay, so anyway, but you'll notice in the listing often we'll have, if you're looking and you see a Glock 21, there'll be 2 or 3 of them or something, and what's the difference? You know, the same price or something like that. Well, one of them is maybe like a police special price, or one is for shipping to California. It's for if you live in California, one of the less free states, you know, where you have to have a 10 round mag or something like that. So I usually double check that, but it doesn't really matter for my purposes. But I happen to have a few Glock 21 magazines anyway. And not a big difference between 10 and 13, you know, anyway. But if someone left a comment, that when are you going to try the new Glock 21 Gen 5? Just a few days ago, really. It wasn't long ago at all. And they got that out in Gen 5, huh? So I immediately requested one to borrow it. Give me an excuse to shoot a 21. You know what? I don't have a 21. I had one and I sold it to John years ago. It must have been when I bought my 41, yeah, right? 41, yeah, Glock 41, which is the 45. It's the same frame, right? But the slide is a little different. It's a little slimmer, and I like that. A little longer too, right? Just a tad, but it's slimmer. It's a Glock 19, 9mm thickness slide. Okay, that's what it is. But good old Glock 21, hard to beat. I was going to save this for the video, the actual real video, this gun, and just let's just not shoot it till we do a video. But I guess this is kind of like doing a video. Let's just go ahead and shoot it. You know, want to? Let's see if it works. All right. It'll save me getting ready to do a video and get everything out and everything ready to go, and then it doesn't work. We have done that a few times. The thing is with a Glock. And other guns too, a SIG, we could name a lot of, an M&P probably, you know, lots of modern firearms. You don't want to depend on it before you've tested it. We all know that. But these modern firearms are so reliable, you could almost get by with it, couldn't you? You could almost get by with it, you know, in a pinch. You wouldn't feel like you're being totally stupid if you know, I don't know what the situation would be. If you're if you're a police officer, you're a soldier or something, or you're going into bear country or whatever. If you just didn't have time to test something, or you lost your gun and you had to jump in here somewhere into a shop and pick one up and buy a new one, and then you got out the door, there's no way you could test it. Well, that's not ideal. But if it's one of these newer polymer pistols, you're probably okay. I mean, I wouldn't advise that at all. Nobody would, you know, in the firearms industry, I don't think. But you probably have a 99% chance it's going to be fine, right, with these modern pistols. Now, if you could pick up a used gun, I don't know, you know, I wouldn't trust that as much. Or even some of my favorites, you know, 1911, a used 1911, let's say. Or even a new one sometimes, depending on who makes it. We've had experience with some new ones where they were not all that reliable. The extractor was a little too loose on it. Got that tightened up or replaced it with like a Wilson Combat extractor or something. Fine, next 10,000 rounds, you know. But I tell you, these guns like this, now I'm saying all that, you know, it might not work. Okay, it's never been fired as far as I know. Now it has. Right, Clyde? Let's see if I have to adjust the sights. All right, right out of the box. Literally. Let's try that hog. Yep. Okay, so I would have been well armed and well prepared if that little scenario, that little fantasy scenario I just related to you was real. I had to stop, and this is my only defensive firearm, and I didn't have a chance to test it, but I had to carry it somewhere, and then I had to pull and shoot it because my life was in jeopardy or something. At least would have gotten 10 shots out of it, right? So kudos really to the firearms industry, the designers, whether it's a Glock or and I would feel the same way. Maybe that's a video sometime. Get my hands on about 8 different modern guns, brands, and not do any, not even lube them maybe, but it wouldn't be a problem to lube them, make sure they're lubed, I guess, but never fired, you know, and unless they were fired at the factory, test fire, and just see how many rounds you go before you had a malfunction, right, with it. So, pretty cool gun, the Glock 21. Nobody hates a Glock 21 that I know of, unless you have small hands. It just feels like a 2x4 you're holding. I understand that. And I love them. It's just these big old thick slides. You know, I love the Glock 30. That sweet shooter. I had one of those. I sold that to somebody. But nice, and that was really popular when it came out. The Glock 30 is just a shorter version of this, but it's still the same thickness of the slide and everything. And a great shooter. I think I shot it better than the 21. And it was really popular. Everybody was excited when that thing came out. Man, a fairly smallish 45 ACP and a Glock and everything. And I know a lot of people were carrying that. There weren't as many choices back then. It was easier to be enamored with something like that, especially if you like big bore. And but I don't know, you may know somebody. I don't know anybody now carrying one. A great gun. It's just the thickness. So many of us have gotten away from the thickness if we can. That was the appeal of that Glock 41. But I don't know, they're nice. If you're wearing outside the waistband in a big holster, it doesn't really matter much. See if it's gong worthy. Okay. Yeah. Nice. Of course, the real question is, I thought right after I said that, it's not, is it gong worthy? It's, are we gong worthy? You're trying to hit something. It's really kind of a silly thing to say. I wonder if this gun will pick off one of those bowling pins. I wonder if it's accurate enough to hit one of those bowling pins. Well, as I've said many times, if you've not seen our video called Accuracy, search that one and look it up. I cover that in that simple little short video, believe it or not, short. For the most part, they're more accurate than we are, especially standing and shooting. Okay, I've talked about that in various places. You know, if you're at the range and somebody is I don't know, next to you over there and they're shooting and they're complaining about their firearm being this thing's not very accurate because they're throwing them all over the paper or something. It's probably the shooter. Ask them, let me try it. I mean, not to make them look bad or show off. You don't want to do that. But I tell you, you do want to do that if you can. If that will prove that it's not the gun. I mean, you want to help them out. It might be a little bit of a ding on their ego, but they need to know, and they need to learn that lesson. It could be the gun, but it rarely is, right? And that's one of the things that, since I've been shooting, that's just something that we do. If you're shooting with somebody, whatever, if you're having trouble hitting with something or whatever it is, maybe just at distance you can't hit with this handgun, or you don't know where you're missing, or here, you shoot this thing, see if the sights are okay for you. Kind of build confidence for each other. You hand it to your buddy and he hits really well with it, and he says, yeah, I'm just taking a fine bead with it, or I'm holding the sight up just a little bit, I'm holding up on the middle of the target or in the top of the target or whatever, and you kind of figure out why you're missing or you're not hitting as well. So it's all in fun. It's all in fun. But that word accuracy gets thrown around a lot, doesn't it? So anyway, you're going to be seeing some pumpkin killing and pumpkin carving coming up here in a few weeks. It's that time of year. No doubt about that. I forgot to tell you last week. Yeah, I went to Grandparents' Day, my grandsons, of all things, school. And that was neat. That was neat. Big second grader, and it was kind of neat. You got to see it. I'd been there before. Last year, and the year before, I guess, Grandparents' Day. But seeing his new classroom and his desk and everything, he's so proud of that, and all of his work and everything, and just interesting. And all of his classmates, second graders. Yeah, I thought, in that building, that second grade, I think, is the oldest class in that school, and how, I've thought that lots of times through the years, how interesting it is, and how sad in some ways it is. When you think about it, think about the worst person you've ever met, the worst person you ever read about, whether it's Charles Manson or just anybody, almost anybody you can name. Virtually anybody we could name who turned out to be a horrible, horrible person. If you saw them when they were 7 and they were in the second grade, I mean, 99 times out of 100, they're just going to be a cute little kid, aren't they? Innocent little kid, and cute in the way they talk. When I say cute, you know what I mean. They're like a puppy, and the world's so interesting to them, and now there's exceptions. I'm sure I've not been around exceptions, I guess, much, if at all. I can recall of 7-year-olds that weren't kind of cute in that way, and innocent, and fun to be around, and everything. But it is so interesting, how humans change, or can change. A lot of people don't change. They're still well, not as naive and innocent and clueless, of course, as we are when we're 6 or 7 or 8 years old. But a lot of people maintain that same personality, and they grow up and they're fine and everything. But some people don't. Somewhere along the way, they get on a different path, right? Quite often influenced by peers and get with the wrong crowd. Just it's real easy to get off that path. But anyway, I was just reminded. It's so neat because I'm not in the classroom much or ever anymore, or in school buildings. And I always enjoyed when I was teaching middle school. It was a private school, and there were pre-K all the way up, and so they weren't in our building necessarily, but over in the cafeteria building and the main other buildings. And I was just around those young kids a lot. They'd be in the cafeteria eating, or just coming through, or you'd see them, or they'd be little brothers and sisters to some of my students that'd be over in our building. They'd be in the classroom, at the end of the day, or around, and at ball games and different things. And so I've just been used to being around a lot of goofy little kids. Yeah, I was one of them, actually. I couldn't hide it too well because I'm so big, but if I had been smaller, I could have just blended right in. Just a clueless little guy. Can I shoot this thing again? All right, I put a regular mag in it. Again, takes Glock mags. And basically any, let's see, that's a Glock 17 mag. So it would definitely take a Glock 19 mag. I think it would take, it looks to me like it would take a Glock 26 mag, just flush. So that's interesting. I'll try that. It would look like it's not loaded. So let's try this mag. All right. Shooting a little Fiocchi and a little Underwood both here. I got to get oriented to these controls. If I'm not careful, I've done that a time or two. I go to release the bolt. It's ambi, and I hit the mag release instead. It's got a big mag paddle there, so I got to get that one up above it if I use my right hand. There we go. All right. I think Clyde needs to be addressed one more time. Am I recording? Yeah. Okay. Wow. That was easier to hit. I think that's a more accurate magazine. I'm not sure. All right. Neat. Yeah, that thing is that is fun. Yep, pistol caliber carbines. Some people make fun of them. Say there's no purpose for them. I see a lot of purpose for them. I like them. I was going to bring a pumpkin over. I just got a couple. I pulled a muscle in my back last week. Started about the time I was recording over here. So I don't know what I was doing. I ain't figured it out. But man, I've been trying not to lift anything. Having a hard time just getting out and tie my shoes here for the last week. It's getting better now. So I got a lot to complain about. My house didn't get blown away or anything, so all right, I got to find something to complain about, right? I didn't get to enjoy the floods and the hurricane, so I got to find something else to complain about. So but I have been a little bit not out of commission, but oh man, it's been killing me. Getting better now. There was a point I was going to make about that. Oh, I know, yeah. So I got a couple of pumpkins. I thought, I'm not going to heft those things around today, so I didn't bring one over here to shoot. But it is pumpkin season, and there was a point I was going to make about the pumpkins. I forgot what it is, but we will be doing some carving and some pumpkin destruction here, no doubt about it. Oh, I know what made me think of that. I saw a comment someone left, might have been you, one of the videos. Gosh, I don't know where it was, but you said that when I get to heaven, I'll be sent back down by St. Peter to raise pumpkins. So I don't know if he meant that means I'm going to hell. I'm going to be sent down to Dante's Inferno, or down where I have to. If you've ever read uh, the Inferno, right, Dante, and the was it how many circles of hell? Man, I can't believe I'm forgetting 10. And where people, the concept there is people have to suffer through eternity based on what they did in life that was not good, kind of thing, where in all kinds of things. People that, was it, I've forgotten now, it's been so long since I read that, but people that had bullied people around, pushed people around their whole life, they had to spend eternity, I think, pushing boulders up a hill, so just some things like that. So the punishment fit the crime. There's some really good ones. But so anyway, that's my punishment. Fits the crime. I've killed so many pumpkins in my life and watermelons, so I might be destined to spend eternity raising watermelons and pumpkins, and maybe 2 liters. I don't know, but just to atone for my sins. So anyway, so the thing I was going to a point I was going to make earlier, and I lost track of my brain. This is really kind of a competition gun. I mean, I guess you could say it's designed for that. I think that's mostly. But a lot of guns that are great for competition are great for whatever else, And the point I was going to make is sometimes a competition gun is, even though you don't compete, it could be just what the doctor ordered, because the things that make a firearm, whether it's a handgun or a carbine like this, rifle, whatever, shotgun, things that make it a great competition firearm, or, you ready for a newsflash? The same things that enable you to enjoy it and to shoot it quickly, maybe, to give it a nice trigger, maybe make it reliable, maybe make it have less recoil, whatever, maybe make it lighter. Because you think about competition, quite often they're going for, well, reliability, but lightweight, maybe less recoil, just a smooth operation, So hey, who doesn't like that? Whether it's a handgun or a carbine, so it might not be as suitable for, I don't know, rough duty or something, depending on the firearm. But don't necessarily shy away from something. A good example too are these big pistols that like CZ makes, and who else? There's several companies. Just really nice for competition pistols. Hold lots of ammo, 9mm, big old heavy pistols. Then you can just hold them out there, and they hardly move on you. And you get great triggers. Those are fun guns. Those are fun guns. Probably not something you're going to carry, right, in a holster, but just fun guns to shoot. And that's a big part of shooting, right? Make it fun. Make it fun. Can I shoot this Glock before I let you go again? I had all kinds of stuff I might have talked about. I'll save it for the Talks channel. Don't forget the Talks channel. I'm still yakking over there. Yeah, I am. Can't shut me up, can you? Can't shut me up. Appreciate Ballistol and Talon Grips. Long time sponsors. Okay. Glock 21. Let's shoot this thing again. All right. Feels good. All right, get on target. All right, it collided with the last round. So, Gen 5, yep, Glock 21, Pretty nice, pretty nice. Very much like the Glock 20, right? Which is the 10mm version. Okay, so I always keep these mags separated. So I send it back, get the orange followers and the new mags, of course. So yeah, love cheats. So I won't have to be in suspense when we do video. I'll assume it's going to work. Okay. So no advice for young people. So I'll save that. I'll save that. Just no advice this week. Just go to the Hickok 45 Talks channel. That's where so much advice is anyway. Young people, just work hard. Work hard. Hope you're enjoying school if you're in school. And keep in mind, even that course you're taking that seems useless, and you're thinking and you're saying that classic line, why am I taking this? Why do I have to take this course? When am I ever going to use this? You know? That's hard to answer. Maybe never. But then again, there might be some benefit from that course or that thing you're studying within that course, whatever it might be, that will have a payoff. It will be something you use later on. Or maybe something else you use is not that, but there's something else you end up using a lot later you wouldn't have been ready for if you hadn't studied this. Does that make any sense? You know? So you just never know what's going to prove useful to you in your life. I've told you before, my mother, for whatever reason, and this was in like 1965 or something, wanted me to take typing in school. That's a course that was taught, of course. And it wasn't called keyboarding. There were no computers. It was typing, learning to type on a typewriter. And thought I'd be a great secretary at the time, maybe, as a career. I took it, and I actually enjoyed it. And I kind of got into it. Again, partly there was a hot gal that sat at my little foursome table. We had tables where two people faced each other, you know, or four. Well, two facing this way and two facing that way. But I took to it and enjoyed it, and really was trying to learn it and get faster and all that. And so, you know, I don't know what use that would really be to me. I know, in my mother's defense, she had hopes I'd go to college, and thought it would be useful, you know, in college, typing papers and that kind of thing. Well, she was right. Yeah, she was right, exactly. And it helped there. And then that was it. Okay, this is great. Yeah, I have a typewriter in college and typing papers, and it worked out great. And then who knew how many years later, about 10 years later, it would help draw me to computers. I've told you that too. Went into a Radio Shack one day, and I was a computer in there. This was like the 1980, 81, how long in there, and 80, I guess. And I was typing on that keyboard. It's the same keyboard. This is neat. And what I type would appear on the screen. That was a big deal. Typewriters don't do that, not then. And interesting. And you could print out right on that printer whatever you typed. You could backspace through it, modify it. Boy, this beats white out. Yeah, corrections fluid and all that. And so I got to asking the guy there, there's an expert, you know, and so I can modify this and get it where I want. Then I can just print it out. Oh, yeah, cool. I was hooked, you know, and that led me into computers. And I had need to kind of manage territory and some things at that same time, and I used it for different things, and writing and communication. Not much email at that time, or no internet, but used it a lot. Got a printer, bought one, an Apple, and then because of that, I ended up with the publishing company I was with, being one of the very, very few people out here in the field that had some computer experience and knowledge. And I had done well with that company. And so I had the insight on a couple of positions that were about ready to be filled. One for the eastern United States, one for the western United States, big territory. And going around, flying around the country and showing the software that we were publishing. And then we just had a little of it, but it was that time, it was, whoa, it was so cool. If you had software and you knew how to use a microcomputer, you were considered a genius. It was funny. And so I had an airlines card, and I set my schedule, and I flew all over the eastern United States and demonstrated that software, which was very simple. And the biggest problem was some people just had one computer or two, and demonstrating didn't have all the technology you have now, projection and all that. And I got to take a computer sometimes, which is a pain. Didn't have laptops at the time, but it was very exciting. Led to a lot of things within the publishing world for me, and then came back to education and led to some things there. All because of my mother and that typing class that I really didn't see much purpose in at the time, although I enjoyed it. So I got into it. So you never know what something's going to lead to. I think I did a Hickok 45 talks kind of on this topic. If not, I will. So I'm gonna let you go, and I am gonna just enjoy my JP-5. That's JP Enterprise, JP-5. If you've got one of these, let me know. We're going to do a video with it here before too long. Let me know. How do you like it? If you got any trouble with it? I understand you can get replacement, what's it called? I forget what it's called, but it's a piece of the bolt for shooting different types of ammo, or like plus P or hotter ammo, some things like that if you want to. That's maybe it's better for the bolt. I don't know, but there's accessories like that you can get. I don't know, it's done fine, everything I've shot, but if you have one of these, and tell me what to expect. Is something going to go wrong after 2,000 rounds? Am I going to have any trouble with it? Is there anything I need to watch for? So let me know, and I'll take your word for it, maybe. How's that? JP-5, pretty cool. Oh, and also, if you know anybody, or if you've ever seen one of these unique firearms, the Glock 21, 45 ACP, let me know how that has worked for you and what you know about it, because this is quite a unique firearm. I've never heard of a firearm like this before. So Glock 21. All right, I'll quit being silly, and I'm gonna let you go. Anything else going on here? Here we are on October 6th, and 249. We'll be at 250 next week. Pretty smart, huh? So all goes well. I'll see you again next week, and I look forward to that. I get to visit with my grandson this weekend again, which is cool. I hate to miss. I guess I'm going to miss the Iraq vet thing. I missed last year, and I was planning to go, but I don't know, my grandson's going to be in town, and just for a couple of days, and the same time that's going on, and I guess I'm not going down there. I guess when you see me now talking, I will not have gone to the Iraq vet shoot down in Georgia, but I hate to miss it. I'm sure y'all had a great time, pretty much watching. But next year, I got to get that on my calendar, and nothing else matters. Nothing else matters. I've got to, no matter what's going on, I need to get to that, because I enjoy that. All right, I'm going to shut up and let you all rest your ears. How's that? So, appreciate your support. Again, keep track to some extent of what we're doing. I mean, it's so obvious that I don't know how many people I've seen this week that what was it? Just not long ago, so a comment or somebody that actually follows the channel, and I don't know, but they literally, they knew they were subscribed, and they went and they were not subscribed, and I see that all the time. So whatever it takes, keep up. You know, we're doing the 2 or 3 videos every week on this channel, so just like always. So come find us. We're here. Don't let social media decide what you watch. I try to be good about that myself. I have people in all areas that I follow, I subscribe to, and I try to keep track of that because it happens to me too. How come I'm not seeing so and so's videos? I find them, go to one, and oh man, there's like 3 or 4 videos I missed and something I wanted to see. I don't know. It just seems to not do any good to be subscribed. What it seems like is happening, John knows more about this. He tracks this and follows, what's happening and the changes. But it's really like now, it used to be more so based on like how many views you have or subscribers or how often you're posting and just all those sorts of things. But it seems like now it doesn't matter what you're doing, everything or how much you have done, everything that is posted, it's like it's just thrown into a big pile out there. And if you're not having some crazy thumbnail or some unbelievably crazy title or something like that, it just doesn't matter. It's all kind of a free-for-all, whatever you can do to attract somebody's attention, whatever crazy thing you can put in your thumbnail or title, I guess, is what a lot of it comes down to. We do a little of that, but not much at all. And so just be aware. We're doing videos every Sunday, every about Tuesday, Thursday, or Friday on this channel, and then the Hickok 45 clips. John posts a clip from a video every morning, and I do a talks video about, I don't know, 2 or 3 a week, just depends. Every 2, 3, 4 days I'll post one of those. Okay, and something else about that. Well, then too, sometimes you'll see a clips that John has pulled out on the Clips channel, and you just look down and see the name of the channel and tell it's from the Clips, but it'll look like something from the talks because it's me sitting in the woods or whatever in the reloading room, and it's a piece he's clipped out of an old Shooting the Breeze or one of those, or an old vlog of some kind, but it's not a recent Hickok 45 talks video. Okay, not that it matters, but just be aware of that. I mean, mainly I bring that up because people still often will think that it's a video that we just did yesterday, a similar thing I've talked about. What's Hickok doing a video about that? Why is he talking about that now? Or whatever it is. And it's a clip from a longer vlog that is possibly 8 years old. Nothing wrong with that. It's just something that's not like they did yesterday. Okay. So anyway, just try to navigate the world as best you can. It's a kind of a crazy digital world out there. We're all a part of it. I might just be digital. I might not even be real. Yeah, really might not. So I'm gonna let you go. I really appreciate your support. Take care. Life is good.